We bring you stories that impact your present.
This is World DNA.
Join the conversation.
Know more, understand better, think ahead. Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gambhir. Get the facts, not the bombast. On the 26th of March, dynamic pricing, Baloch separatists, Gravitas cuts out the clutter. Gravitas keeps calm when others scream. Gravitas brings news to life. Weekdays, 9 p.m. IST, 3:30 p.m. GMT. Gravitas. Seeing is believing.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is one. From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
It is Tuesday, the 14th of January, and you are watching Race to Power on WION World is One. I'm Eric Njoka. The countdown to Donald Trump's inauguration is ticking. But just before the 47th president of the US takes oath, the ghosts of the 2020 election overturn case still linger, and Jack Smith has released a report on that. And South Korea's suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol continues to boycott the hearing in a high-stakes trial that will determine his future in office. We speak to a political expert on the future of the Asian nation. Welcome to the show. All right, 6 days before the presidential inauguration is held for Donald Trump, and preparations are in full swing. The ceremony will be held on January 20th, and close to 250,000 people are expected to attend. Security has been beefed up in Washington, D.C. Ahead of the inauguration, many global leaders, international delegations, and other high-profile individuals will be present at the event. The inauguration has a packed schedule, with several events to be conducted over 4 days. Trump's transition team released a long list of events, including a fireworks show, 3 VIP events at Trump's golf course outside Washington, D.C., and a celebratory MAGA rally on the eve of the swearing-in ceremony, among other smaller events. The country's artists have been roped in to perform at the ceremony. Country music star Carrie Underwood will perform America the Beautiful at Trump's inauguration. Meanwhile, the 1970s disco band Village People will perform at two other inaugural events. Now, according to media reports, the Trump-Vance inaugural committee raked in funding of over $170 million for financing the events and logistics of the inauguration. Well, as the inauguration day comes closer, legal drama still continues to follow Donald Trump. The latest to make headlines is the 2020 election overturn case. Jack Smith, who was the then special counsel on the case, released a report which says that Trump would have been convicted had he not won the presidential election. Now, following Trump's win and impending return to the White House, prosecutors foreclosed the case. The report said, and I quote, "But for Mr. Trump's election and imminent return to the presidency, the special counsel's office assessed that the admissible evidence was sufficient to obtain and sustain a conviction at trial." Smith went on to write, and I quote again, "When it became clear that Trump had lost the election and that a lawful means of challenging the election results had failed, he resorted to a series of criminal efforts to retain power." The U.S. president-elect was quick to respond to the claims made in the report. In multiple posts on his platform Truth Social, Trump called Jack Smith deranged and a lame-brained prosecutor, saying that the special counsel was unable to prosecute political opponents of his boss, Joe Biden. Trump was being tried for the January 6th, 2021 Capitol Hill riots when a mob of Republican supporters attacked the U.S. Congress chambers on the night that lawmakers had gathered to certify Joe Biden's win. Chaos reportedly broke out after Trump's remarks at a rally where he said that he will not concede the election and that Biden will be an illegitimate president. However, in the infamous speech, Trump also asked supporters to make their voices heard peacefully and patriotically. The now president-elect, who lost the election in 2020, faced two charges in the case: conspiracy to defraud the United States and conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. All right, let's talk about the latest. Our correspondent Susan Teherani is now joining us live on this broadcast from New York. Hi, Susan. Good to see you. This case is very, surprising for so many who are waiting for, Donald Trump to be inaugurated. How is the Trump team taking all this in?
Well, Donald Trump was really on the defense, as you mentioned on his Truth Social post. He has time and again called Jack Smith incapable of carrying out justice on the one hand, and then being sort of deranged. That's the word that he uses for special counsel Jack Smith. But I think ultimately the Trump team and a lot of Americans, notably those who voted for the president-elect, are looking towards the future. This is a 137-page report. There isn't much of a difference to that 2000 report that Jack Smith dropped just a few days before the election of 2024. In that 2000-page report, there were a lot more details than we see in this 137-page report. But nonetheless, he found the need to release it. While these are usually sealed, they're not for public consumption. It doesn't seem like it would make much of a difference. And that's why I think you're not really seeing that big of a pushback from the Trump team. Of course, the president-elect himself, as expected, had to say something about it.
All right. Susan Teherani is our correspondent from New York. Thanks, Susan. We'll have to leave it there. All right, let's move on now. And U.S. President-elect Donald Trump will take office next week, and even before officially assuming office, he has made his intentions for the second term very clear. Trump's takeover goals and aspirations are reverberating on the international stage, the latest being making Greenland a part of America. So what does this mean for the NATO territory? We'll tell you more in this next report.
Donald Trump raised alarm bells last week when he said that he won't rule out the use of military power to bring Greenland and the Panama Canal under US governance. Greenland is an autonomous territory under the Kingdom of Denmark, which makes it a part of the NATO alliance. However, the island has strategic significance for the US military and its ballistic missile early warning system, since the shortest route from Europe to North America runs via the Arctic island. The US military maintains a permanent presence at the Pituffik Air Base in Greenland's northwest. But Trump's interest in Greenland is not new. The US president-elect also raised the idea of buying the island during his first term, drawing a sharp refusal from local authorities.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time. You have approximately 45,000 people there. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world.
Of course, I want to say some words on the discussion taking place about Greenland right now. I want to make it very clear that in the eyes of the Danish government, Greenland is for the Greenlandic people. It is a very proud people with its own language and culture. It is a people that is their own. And as the chairman of the government of Greenland, Knut Egde, has stated before, Greenland is not for sale.
But are the residents of Greenland buying Trump's idea? According to a recent survey by Patriot Polling, majority of Greenlanders are in support of Greenland joining the United States. The poll, conducted earlier this month, found that 57.3% of 416 respondents approve of Greenland becoming a part of the US. On the other hand, 37.4% oppose the idea, and 5.3% remain undecided. The survey comes at a time when Republican lawmakers in the US House of Representatives are trying to build support for a bill on authorizing talks for the purchase of Greenland. According to the Office of US Representatives, the bill is called Make Greenland Great Again Act. It reportedly has 10 co-sponsors as of Monday morning. If passed, the bill will allow the president to enter into negotiations with Denmark. The leadership in Greenland is not pleased, nor is that of Denmark. Addressing a press conference alongside Danish Prime Minister, Greenland's leader said that the country was not for sale. Denmark Prime Minister reiterated the point, adding that in the eyes of the Danish government, Greenland is for the Greenlanders. The island's leadership is also looking to strengthen its defense and mining ties with US. Greenland's Prime Minister went on to say that his government is looking for ways to cooperate with the United States and that it was ready to start a dialogue with Trump's incoming administration. However, he did not give any indication that the island would be open to a US takeover.
South Korea's suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol has skipped the hearing in a high-stakes trial that will determine his future in office. Yoon Suk-yeol's legal team said a bid by authorities to arrest Yoon Suk-yeol prevented him from expressing his position on the stand. Authorities have been trying to arrest Yoon Suk-yeol for weeks, but have failed to do so after a standoff with presidential security preventing officials from entering Yoon Suk-yeol's residence.
Saying it is a constitutional trial so as not to apply the criminal procedure rules is a direct violation of the law itself. It is an act through which the Constitutional Court, a place where law should be upheld and enforced, is overstepping its authority.
The next hearing is scheduled for Thursday. If Yoon Suk-yeol again decides to give the hearing a miss, the proceedings will start with his legal team representing him. Suspended South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol will be receiving a pay rise. This as he continues to resist investigation and arrest over his martial law declaration. Official documents reveal Yoon Suk-yeol's salary will increase by 3% to 262.6 million won, which is roughly 179,000 US dollars. It is in line with the standard for government officials. While suspended from his duties, Yoon Suk-yeol remains in office until South Korea's Constitutional Court upholds its impeachment. The Constitutional Court is set to decide within 180 days whether to remove Yoon Suk-yeol from office or restore his presidential powers. The court's 8 judges will decide mainly 2 issues: whether Yoon Suk-yeol's martial law declaration was unconstitutional and whether it was illegal, either of which could prove grounds to uphold his impeachment. Collins Chong Yu Kiat is a foreign affairs and security strategist, University of Malaya. He is now joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Collins, good to see you, and thank you very much for making time for us.
Thank you, Eric.
What will be the impact of Yoon Suk-yeol, or the repercussions of Yoon Suk-yeol, if he continues to miss these hearings? And now we understand that his salary has been, increased. What do you make of that?
Well, it continues to portray this divisive political spectrum in South Korea. We have seen how, he has also divided the new demographic segment of the South Koreans among the Gen Z generations. Of course, we have seen also almost 64% of South Koreans support Yoon's impeachment, but we have to remember that he has been suspended from duties, but he still upholds some, presidential immunity, and of course a lot of different arguments as to how the extent of how he can be arrested or how he can be, impeached in terms of carrying out his, legitimate presidential order of, ordering the martial law, and that, of course, on the grounds of security concerns of him not being able to attend. For as long as there's security concerns, those will be the pretext that will be used by his team to portray that, the whole setup of the, the arrest as well as the impeachment procedures and all that are all being all part of the the injustice, the structural and systemic barriers or injustice that have been seen throughout the process. So of course we have seen how the diehard supporters of Suk-yeol have been trying to portray this whole setup or structure as almost similar to one that Trump has faced throughout last year. And of course, it remains to be seen that how this will unfold, but the trial will continue nevertheless, and with the second sitting on this Thursday, and most probably you can see from the setup of the judges, from 8 of the judges, 5 are projected to fully support the impeachment of Suk-yeol, while 3 are most likely to oppose, and there's the reason why there's been this the mayhem on the appointment of the remaining 1 judge that has been put on hold, and this is why this bitter divisiveness among the different factions of the political system. Eric.
All right, Collins, very quickly, because this saga has divided South Koreans. There are some who are supporting Yoon Suk-yeol. There are some who are against the besieged president. What do you think, or what is the likely future of South Korea going forward in the next 1 month or so? Very quickly.
Yeah, well, of course, this issue will be the main concern, and of course, we have seen how he has divided the population among the different segments. For those who are naturally conservative, and also, of course, for those who are very progressive in terms of upholding the democratic order, and those who are keen to restore the economic prospects of the country. But of course, it's also important to maintain the need also to balance the external geopolitical future of South Korea in terms of whether it is to what extent of the claim by Suk-yeol, as of course also on certain segments of his administration, that the extent of the influence-seeking behaviors by the North, also the extent of the future of the political system, the democratic order in South Korea will be on the line, and the decision by the Constitutional Court whether to impeach Suk-yeol or to restore his presidency, of course, will be the single main factor in deciding the future of South Korea in terms of its own economic and security order for the next couple of years. And this is why it's of great importance for for all the judges to make decision that will not only project the future of South Korea, but also whatever the decision outcome, it will not be satisfactory to either faction. But in terms of the overall geopolitical and security concerns and needs of South Korea, this will be the main solitary reason and factor that will form the main basis of his own future in the next couple of years, Eric.
Mr. Collins Chong, as always, it's great to talk to you. Thank you very much for giving us time today.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
And in India, residents of the national capital may be braving through a cold front, but the political temperature in Delhi is very high. There's assembly elections are just over 3 weeks away. Members of two of the biggest political parties in the opposition, INDIA bloc, are at loggerheads. Congress's Rahul Gandhi, in his maiden Delhi rally, pointed fingers at the governance of Aam Aadmi Party in the national capital. Rahul Gandhi attacked Arvind Kejriwal over rising pollution and inflation in Delhi. In response, the former chief minister took a swipe at the Congress leader, saying that his fight was to save the country and not the party. Kejriwal, whose party is in alliance with Congress as part of the broader opposition bloc, has also accused Congress and BJP of having a secret partnership. But in the backdrop, reports revealed that there is another alliance of sorts being formed for the Delhi elections. JDU, which is a coalition with BJP in the central government, is discussing a seat distribution arrangement with BJP in the national capital. And according to reports, Nitish Kumar's party may get 2 seats ahead of the February 5th elections in Delhi. Amid a flurry of cross-party allegations and campaigns, top leadership took the time to celebrate Lohri, the harvest festival. In a video released by Aam Aadmi Party Supremo Arvind Kejriwal can be seen dancing around the bonfire celebrating the festival. India's Prime Minister and BJP leader Narendra Modi also attended festivities in the capital. Let's now talk about Bangladesh. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party wants the national election by the middle of this year, followed by local government polls afterwards. The party believes that local polls before parliamentary election would be a delaying tactic. The issue was discussed during a standing committee meeting at the party chairperson's office. Acting chairperson Tariqi Rahman joined the meeting from London virtually. A member said after the meeting that the government should abandon plans for local government elections and instead focus on holding a national election by media in line with the public aspirations. Now, according to reports, party leaders are putting pressure on the interim government through seminars and discussions to have the general election by June this year. The local government polls were also discussed at the BNP meeting. All senior leaders say the polls would delay the general election as they will take place in different phases and take more than 1.5 years to be completed. The interim government has indicated that the national election is likely to be held either later this year or early next year. The government has also stated that if there is no significant demand for widespread reforms from the political parties, the polls may be scheduled earlier. The BNP, however, maintains that reforms are an ongoing process and should continue, but the election should only be conducted after implementing the necessary reforms. At the meeting, the BNP also discussed the government's decision to raise VAT and supplementary duties on over 100 goods and services midway through the fiscal year. BNP leaders expressed frustration over the tax increase, arguing that no elected government would implement measures that exacerbate public sufferings. Lebanon's new Prime Minister Nawaf Salam has pledged to extend state authority over Lebanese soil weeks after ceasefire was imposed in the country. In his first address, the Lebanese Prime Minister said he's reaching out to all sides to help rebuild the country, which has been devastated due to months-long war between Hezbollah and Israeli forces.
In my ideology, training and political practice, I am not one to exclude, but one to unite. I am not someone who excludes, but someone who champions understanding and national partnership. And this is my sincere invitation. My hands are extended to all to set off together on this mission of rescue, reform and rebuilding.
Lebanon's President Joseph Aoun picked Nawaf Salam to form a government after a majority of lawmakers endorsed Salam. Lebanese Hezbollah group had opposed Salam's nomination in the past. The new Lebanese Prime Minister says he will work to impose United Nations Resolution 1701, which calls for withdrawal of Hezbollah from the south. Furthermore, the Prime Minister has promised that Israeli forces will withdraw from every inch of Lebanon's land, and that's according to the agreement. As Lebanon's financial crisis enters its sixth year, Salam has vowed to work towards a government that could build a modern and productive economy. Thank you for watching this edition of Race to Power on WION World is One. I'm Eric Njoka. Do stay with us. This is WION World is One.
Ready to dive into your daily dose of news?
Bringing you what's trending in the West and all that's setting trends in the East.
And all of this served up with a side of insightful banter.
We don't just bring you the latest stories.
We bring you your talking points for the day.
And while you do that, from the busy streets of New York, I will provide you with deeper insights on the developments through the course of the day in the U.S.
And I will be here at the WION headquarters, getting you all the action from the universe of sport. All that you need to know about your favorite teams and players, right here.
The show that keeps you ahead of the global curve. A conversation you'd want to be a part of.
A place where news becomes an engaging exchange.
We bring you stories that impact your present.
This is World DNA.
Join the conversation.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
The stress of our world can take a toll on our physical and emotional health. Here, in New York's Catskill Mountains, lies a luxurious place of healing called WION Wellness Center. The WION Wellness Center provides 500,000 square feet of natural methods to manage diabetes, hypertension, chronic pain, obesity, depression, anxiety, and other conditions. We use the traditions of centuries-old natural science from India, yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy in personalized programs that help you take charge of your own health. A minimum 5-day stay is recommended for best results. Book now at yowon.com.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One.
Ready to dive into your daily dose of news?
bringing you what's trending in the West and all that's setting trends in the East.
And all of this served up with a side of insightful banter.
We don't just bring you the latest stories.
We bring you your talking points for the day.
And while you do that, from the busy streets of New York, I will provide you with deeper insights on the developments through the course of the day in the U.S.
And I will be here at the WION headquarters, getting you all the action from the universe of sport. All that you need to know about your favorite teams and players, right here.
The show that keeps you ahead of the global curve. A conversation you'd want to be a part of.
A place where news becomes an engaging exchange.
We bring you stories that impact your present.
This is World DNA.
Join the conversation.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
Know more, understand better, think ahead. Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gambhir. Get the facts, not the bombast. On the 26th of March, dynamic pricing, Baloch separatists, Gravitas cuts out the clutter. Gravitas keeps calm when others scream. Gravitas brings news to life. Weekdays 9 p.m. IST, 3:30 p.m. GMT. Gravitas. Seeing is believing.
Vielleicht nur als Impostant.
Welcome back. You are watching WION World is One. Thank you for staying with us. Time now for Fine Print. I'm American Joker. Our top stories. Israel to pay a steep price to secure the release of female soldiers being held hostage, according to an AP report. Israel to release 50 Palestinian prisoners, including 30 serving life sentences for each female soldier hostage. Israel's far-right National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir threatens to leave the government if it closes a ceasefire deal with Hamas, which he says is a surrender. US President-elect Donald Trump says Putin is the one strategy and that he would like to meet him very quickly after assuming office when asked if he can end the Ukraine war after assuming office. Principal Staff Officer of the Armed Forces Division of Bangladesh visits Pakistan, meets Pakistan's Chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee, discusses mutual strategic interests to explore avenues for enhancing bilateral defense cooperation. The United States finalizes a rule effectively barring Chinese technology from cars in the American markets, taking aim at software and hardware from the world's second biggest economy on national security risks. A more than a decade-long dispute over who should shoulder the additional financial burden.